I'm Randy Unger, and this is another edition of Unger the Radar. And I wasn't here last week. I was a little bit sick. Apologize for that, but we are back. We're up and running, and I just want to welcome you all back to the show. So today we're going to have, some interviews, some reviews, usual stuff. We're going to start off. I actually recorded an interview, a phoner, with a director and actor, James Fanizza. He has a new film called Sebastian. It's a love story, independent love story, and it comes out February 6th. Here is the interview.
And we cast out of Toronto, so Alex's house is lives in Los Angeles. So we were with the casting director suggested a few different people. Alex being one of them, and I had sort of known about Alex through different people I had never met before. He sent in a tape, and within 30 seconds, I knew. He was the one that he was our Sebastian. And then in terms of getting Katya into film, who played Ksenia, Katya was on the 7th season of RuPaul's Drag Race.
Cool.
To get him involved, I basically just kind of took a chance and reached for the stars, and I looked up his agent information and called the agent and pleaded for 5 minutes of the right dates, and then I pitched the film, and he sounded interested, so I sent him the script, and he really liked that, and then he sent it to Katya, who loved it, and then before I knew it, I was booking flights for her to come film.
That's awesome. So it's a classic love story. It's lovely. It's beautiful. What do you hope audiences take away from the film?
I mean, it's a modern love story, so it's for people that in this day and age have a lot of we're presented with a lot of choice. We've got everything is kind of at our fingertips, and just for someone, how do you navigate that? How do you kind of deal with the distractions, and how do you sort of stay not constantly always thinking oh, there's something better, and I can easily just open my phone up and keep looking. So I want audiences to take away is that. It is kind of tough to connect in this day and age, but it's not impossible, and there's hope out there. And the person you're looking for is out there.
Nice. I love that message. So you wrote, you directed, you starred in. How is it wearing all those hats? Do you have to change your mindset, your perspective on each job, or is it kind of just a loose thing?
No, it's quite a challenge. To be honest, the producing is something that was, that starts first. That's scouting locations, getting equipment, getting crew members involved, casting, that kind of thing. And then the directing is the vision of it, and that kind of sort of starts to form as I'm writing. So that kind of all that at least is kind of is like a 2 birds with 1 stone kind of thing. But then once you're free shoot, that's where the real challenge starts, and that it's setting up the shot and working with my co-producer and the cinematographer to make sure everything looks great, coordinating extras, talking with the actors, making sure everyone's got their lines, knows what's going on, and then it's okay, we're ready to shoot, and then I got to really quickly switch gears into being an actor, and then all of a sudden I have to be present and in love with this person. So it was quite a challenge, but one that I really rose to, and I really enjoyed doing it.
Nice. And then speaking of challenges, what were some other issues or technical challenges that you might have faced on set?
Well, I mean, it was entirely self-funded, so that was the big challenge, was just kind of keeping things within budget that I could afford. So there wasn't a lot of room for like, oh, we'll just like try again tomorrow, or if a shot was scheduled for a certain day, it had to be done that day, and so that's a challenge. And that, I mean, there were some minor hiccups and stuff. Like we had our equipment vehicle was towed at one point because it was parked on the spot. So that was that was, and again with money constraints and not having a lot of time, we didn't have time to be.
How long was the shoot?
It was 2 weeks.
2 weeks? Okay, nice. All right. So are there any filmmakers out there that have inspired you, that have inspired your craft?
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Like there's, I mean, I love. Sorry, I'm just pulling my notes here so I can get the names of everything correct. Like Andrew Haig, who did Weekend. He did TV series Looking. Like I mean, I really love his work, and I think my style kind of reflects that a little bit.
Okay.
Long shots and very the intimacy of it. I do love Xavier Dolan, who's a Canadian director. Like his first feature was also self-funded by him. It was called I Killed My Mother. Yeah, I mean, I really admire those filmmakers a lot.
Okay. Now, are there any other actors or filmmakers that you haven't worked with already that you'd want to in the future?
Oh my God! Like yeah, like basically everybody in Hollywood would be amazing. Definitely, like a dream actress I think that I would really love to work with is Laura Linney as well as Laura Dern. I think both those two actresses are like really they're kind of underutilized. Like I mean, they're both kind of having a comeback.
Yeah,
it's amazing, and I've always loved their work, and I mean that would be like a dream if I got to work with them.
Okay. Do you have a dream project that you'd want to sink your teeth into?
I have like a project that I wrote a long time ago that's sort of like a huge budget kind of a thing, and it's about like a family on a farm and someone escapes from prison. So that I mean that is something that I would really love to like kind of in the future with a big cast, and maybe cast Laura Dern in it as like the head of the household.
Right.
But that's the talk down for a long time.
Okay. What are some of your favorite movies?
Probably like Godfather Part 2 is probably like my favorite movie.
Okay.
Followed by the Argentinian, like the original version of The Secret in Their Eyes.
Okay.
Argentinian film that they redid with Nicole Kidman a few years ago, but the original is just an incredible story.
Nice. So, have you been taking Sebastian to the film festivals at all, or?
Yeah, we played at a number of different festivals around the U.S. It played in Italy as well. I believe it played in Hong Kong and Australia too.
Oh, nice. So, what were some of your favorite memories on set?
Some of my favorite memories, yeah, like the first day we shot with Katya was the sort of the bar scene where she does that performance, and that was the biggest. That was the biggest day because we had so many extras and we had to coordinate those people. And it was actually really. I was very nervous for the day, but it actually ended up being really amazing to see so many people kind of come out to be extras that just because they really liked Katya and they wanted to see him perform, and it was it was like so rewarding. It's like wow, I put all this together. It was like 200 people packed here, all here because I organized it. So that was like the first kind of where it hit me. Like I'm like wow, cool. I'm like this is like really worth it.
Now, do you think this film is like primarily geared towards the gay community, or is it just like your standard romantic film. Like there's no like it's not pigeonholed or anything. It's just a love story and that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like yes and no. It's definitely a love story that I wanted to be able to sort of play to all audiences around the world, regardless of like gender or sexuality. However, at the same time, I also didn't want to alienate the community that I belong to. So I wanted to make sure that it was, it didn't shy away from queer cultures and like, queer expression, and that it was, it was, we didn't shy away from like men kissing on camera, that kind of thing. Like it was unabashedly queer, but it was also, for everybody.
Yeah, really tastefully done, actually, and it's just
Thank you.
It's not in your face. It's subtle. It's sweet, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
So what do you have next? What's coming up?
I'm working on a few different projects, like writing my next feature film, which I can't really give too much information about. I'm also active for hire, so I've been auditioning for things.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, speaking of acting, what actors have inspired your craft of acting?
What actor? Yeah, that's a great. I just love things like I don't know if you watch the show Big Little Lies, but Alex Skarsgård's performance in that particularly is amazing. I mean, he's like such a bad guy, but like he really figures out how to kind of walk the fine line of like what he thinks in his head. He's not doing the wrong thing. It's like his performance in that was just kind of breathtaking, to say the least.
What was the name again? I couldn't hear you.
The HBO show Big Little Lies that has like Nicole Kidman.
Okay, right.
He plays like the abusive husband, but he just brings something to it where you're like, okay, I mean, like obviously, like we hate you and you're not doing the right thing, but like we also like, I mean, like I can see where you're coming from, right? Like it's a very, very great performance.
Okay. Now, if you can like go back and play any role in history of film or stage or TV, who would that be?
Oh man, that's a tough question. I think I would like to play in Magnolia, the William H. Macy character. I think that I would really love to do that if I could.
Oh, cool. I could see that. Or maybe Greg Kinnear in As Good as It Gets.
Yeah, that for sure.
Nice. So, in your mind, what makes a good actor good?
I think someone who's just willing to take risks, who can be present with their scene partner, and just, like all human beings, they just don't play it. Not everyone has like different facets of themselves, and everyone believes that what they're doing is the right thing, regardless of we as the audience don't agree with it. So I just someone that can kind of make a nuanced character that's just not fully good, not fully bad. Someone that's like a regular human being.
Okay. Now, when it comes to, so have you done just film, or have you done stage and TV as well?
I've done mostly film. I've done. I was in an episode of 12 Monkeys, which is on the Sci-Fi Network.
Right.
A little bit of stage, but not much. I went to school as a stage actor, but that was a while ago.
Now, do you prefer film over TV, or vice versa?
Definitely. I mean, if you had asked me this like a few years ago, I would say like film, absolutely. But I mean, these days, like the caliber of like TV actors is just, and the caliber of things that are on TV is just incredible. Like that Big Little Lies show. I mean, it was like literally watching like a 9-hour movie. It was just so great.
Yeah.
So I think TV's really changing, and I think that it's because it's so much more accessible that they're really starting to make it more cinematic in there. So I mean, right now I think they're pretty equal.
I want to thank you for your time today, James. This has been amazing.
Thank you.
Sebastian is great. I hope everyone sees it. and it's an important film. It's beautiful. It's beautifully acted, directed, and it has a very sweet message. And
I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah. So James, thank you so much. And I'm Randy Unger, and this has been Unger the Radar. And I hope everyone goes out and sees Sebastian. So thanks so much, James.
Thank you.
All right, guys, we're back, and with me again are two fine gentlemen, veterans of Unger the Radar. We've got Mr. John Bartnick. Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing, Unger? Thank you for having me back.
Yeah, and it's been a while, Mr. Robin Channing.
Mm-hmm. Hello.
How's it going? How you guys doing today?
Pretty good, pretty good. I'm doing well.
Yeah.
Yourself?
Good, great.
Yeah, doing okay. Had an interesting week of gigs and so forth. So I'm a little bit tired, but you know what? I'm ready to go. So here I am. So it's a pleasure once again to be here on Unger the Radar.
Oh, thank you. So, Robin is actually a mentalist and a magician. Mm-hmm. So how are things in that world?
Oh, I don't want to sound corny and say things are mental, but too late. Sorry about that.
See, this is why you need a drum set so you can get those rim shots perfectly.
Yeah, but at least I forewarned the people with the corny aspect in the beginning, so I'm self-aware of the corniness of my jokes, right? My pitiful joke construction, so I might as well give the warnings in advance.
We appreciate that.
All right.
So, John, what's new with you?
Nothing compared to the magician. I've gotten
You're your own kind of mental.
Yeah.
Your own brand.
I've been a little bit more sarcastic, gained a little bit more weight, and smoked more cigarettes. So I'm just working on some stuff for my channel, which is Nerdist Utra, and should be coming soon.
Okay, we'll talk a little bit more about that later.
Yeah, I like
sure.
to know about your channel.
So I brought you guys here because we've got the standard 3 movies to review. Not the greatest movies. There were some decent ones in there. One really bad one. But let's start with Humor Me.
Humor Me, okay.
An aging father refuses to engage emotionally with his son, who is desperate for approval. Basically, his wife dumps him, takes the kid, and this gentleman is played by Jermaine Clement.
But you just skipped over the lead. Like, she doesn't just leave him and take the kid. She leaves to, like, Europe with a billionaire and takes his kid and be like, oh, yeah, and by the way, you're fat. Then leaves.
She says a few mean things in there.
Yeah.
But basically, it's about Jermaine Clement's journey of, like, self-discovery, trying to better himself, and he meets some interesting people at his father's retirement village. So this was my favorite of the 3. I loved it. I loved Jermaine Clement's performance, and I thought Elliot Gould as the father was brilliant.
Yeah, I
like
a
little miscast.
This was my favorite of the 3 also. Okay. Like, I don't know if it's because he's a father and so am I, that I connected to it, and like at some points I was like, oh my god, don't take the baby, oh my god, just crying it up like a 3-year-old with a skin knee. And then, like, I was legitimately laugh out loud laughing. Like, this is a movie I would actually go out and buy.
Yeah.
That's probably the best compliment I could give this movie. Is like, I would want it. I do want it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, the thing is, I liked Elliot Gould's performance the most. It struck me. It struck home with me the most because I sympathize with him playing a father that was basically judging his son by his own fatherly standards. He's like, oh, he's not working. I have to instill discipline in this guy. I've got an ex-Marine that I could use to really man him up and so forth. He's just not understanding his son.
Folding those towels, right?
Folding those towels, right.
And he's like an accomplished playwright.
Yeah,
and he's an accomplished playwright, but in his mind, playwright is not a job. It's just like, at most, a hobby. So it's like, that's not work. So he's just not understanding his son. I get that. And also, this is not something I can relate to per se, but I kind of dug the how he just told jokes whenever possible, and how his habit of telling jokes was like a barrier that the son eventually addressed that issue. It's like, whenever I want to connect with you, all you do is tell jokes.
Right.
We've been in the green room for like half an hour and 45 minutes, and you're sitting next to the father. Like all I was doing was telling jokes one after another. I could totally relate to both characters.
Yeah, right.
And you know what? Elliot Gould had some really good jokes in this. I don't know.
They were dad jokes. Like, I really enjoyed it, and I loved how they just didn't tell the jokes, but they showed the jokes.
Right.
Like, I loved that. It was so endearing, and like the characters were all likable. All the actors and actresses felt like they were actually wanting to be in this movie. It was well directed, well written.
Yeah.
The only thing I would have changed was at the very end. This isn't a spoiler. It's about self-discovery and seeing worth in yourself. He just never shaved. Like, I feel like that would have been such an obvious visual representation of like,
he works out. He kind of he tucks in his shirt.
He tucks in his shirt. He works out. He starts writing again. He has a love interest.
Yeah.
He's making money. And he still looks like he just woke up 4 weeks ago and hasn't slept since.
You made an interesting point about that there should be like a visual representation of his growth as a character, because I was thinking about a movie called Crazy Horse just now.
That's
with Jeff Bridges, I believe.
Oh,
he played a country music singer.
Was that Crazy Horse?
I believe it was Crazy Horse. Yeah.
Crazy Heart.
Crazy Heart. I'm sorry. My apologies. I screwed up a title. Crazy Heart. I'm sorry. Apologies.
How dare you, sir?
How dare I? I'm sorry about that. Okay. Crazy Heart. Thank you for that.
Yes.
He was like such an alcoholic, such a drunkard throughout that movie, and by the end, when he finally cleans his act up, you see a visual representation of how much he has changed. He's cleaned up. He's well groomed, and so on and so forth. Crazy Heart. I apologize. I cannot believe I've grilled other people for making wrong names. I am grilling myself right now. Thank you for pointing that out.
Did he lose his son? Lose the kid at one point?
Yeah.
He was at a bar.
Yeah. He was drinking at a bar, and he was supposed to be babysitting his soon-to-be stepson.
Yeah, something like that.
Well, I mean, who hasn't lost their soon-to-be stepson in a bar once or twice?
That's true.
I mean, honestly, let's not split hairs here. I mean, 15, 20 children at least have been lost on my account probably, but. That was a joke. That was a joke.
You know what it is? Jim has Willie Nelson with looking like an Indian over there, and he's got these Indian feathers over here. And as a result, I was thinking Indians, and that's how Crazy Horse got into my head.
We forgive you, Rob.
Okay, it was a subliminal thing. I know about subliminals, so I'm being a mentalist. So there it was. Darren Brown was right. Okay, there you go.
Did you guys like the supporting cast? Like the older people?
They were all on point. And they also did that whole subplot of the older 80-year-old woman wants the young man. Right. And they did it really kind of tastefully. And not that over horny older woman, trying to get the young man. They did it so tastefully and in an emotional way by the end.
Yeah, it worked.
Everything in this movie worked really well.
And as a Ghostbuster, Annie Potts is in this.
Yeah, I was so excited. I'm like, oh my god, we got one!
Yeah.
I was so excited.
Painfully underused.
She is still pretty. She is aged so gracefully. Not that I think she watches your show, and I'm like, hey,
Hashtag Annie Potts.
Yes.
Who you gonna call, sweetheart?
Hey.
While I'm at it, hashtag Darren Brown. So we're gonna be hashtagging quite a bit of stuff during this.
Do it.
I don't hashtag nothing. I play tic-tac-toe, and that's it.
Nice.
Hashtag welcome to New York.
So final thoughts on Humor Me?
Oh, you should see it. You should definitely go see it. I don't know if it has a release in theaters.
I think
Does it have a limited release? I believe.
It probably.
Yeah, I would see it. It's probably definitely going to be on video on demand. You should see it. If you've ever been down on your luck and lost a job or broken up with someone, it kind of weirdly relatable. Yeah. I'm not a famous writer, and I related to him. It was so good, so sweet, so charming, and funny. Genuinely funny.
Some of the best acting I've seen in a comedy in a long time.
It was a really good rom-com.
Yeah.
Even though it wasn't a rom-com per se.
And it already came out on the 12th.
I'm a horrible critic.
I think one could say this movie works really well as I think it's called a slice of life type of movie.
Yeah.
So you guys have pretty much covered all the possible ground that I could possibly say about this movie. In terms of appraisals, I got nothing now. So yeah,
squeeze it out.
Okay, I'll just reiterate. Okay, I'll just play them all apart because then at least I have something to say. Just repeat what you guys have said. That the cast, they were all on point. It was a really nice, light, heartfelt kind of movie. It's lighthearted. So if that's your cup of tea, you want something that's everyday slice of life. Some stuff that hits home and so forth. This is a movie for. And you know what? A little personal history. I hope you don't mind, John. John Bart and I are not strangers. We've actually met for years at certain movie theaters where we watched, like whether it's comic book movies or
worded
Star
so
Wars
specifically, like certain theaters.
I know, right? Okay. Oh yeah. Go ahead. Okay, I know your person. So we see like certain types of movies. So,
and these aren't the movies we typically see.
Exactly. Yeah. So here you give all this insightful commentary about this type of movie. It's just good.
So you guys normally watch like big budget sci-fi superheroes.
Big budget action. That's where like summer tent poles.
That's where we keep encountering each other.
Yeah.
So it's kind of refreshing to be in a different genre.
Yeah. Every time I see him, I'm like, do a trick. Trick me.
Do a trick. All right. Yeah, here's my trick. Me going to get the popcorn.
Nice. All right, guys. So that's Humor Me, and we're gonna take a little break, and we'll be right back with some more reviews. Mm-hmm. Thanks, guys.
Okay.
Nope.
We're back, guys. Again, Mr. John Bartnick, Robin Channing.
Hello.
And we are back to our film review segment. I like to call it Everyone's a Critic, but that's my own little thing. Let's move on to the next movie. It's also about like self-discovery and finding yourself, and it's called My Art, and it stars Laurie Simmons, who actually wrote and directed it as well.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good! It's a personal tale.
Yeah.
It's the room for art.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Basically, she's an older lady. She's an artist, and she is house sitting for like a week or so. Her friend's house.
No, I thought it was over the summer, wasn't it?
Was
it takes place over a whole summer, I believe.
Okay, over the summer. Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Whoa.
And basically, she just wants to work on her art with no distractions, and she meets the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, I feel like it deserves, but she gets distractions.
So it's quirky, it's hipstery, it's a dry comedy.
Super dry, like it needs some sauce.
It's a little like I like that. And I don't want to say, I guess pretentious comes across a little bit.
John, didn't it come across? There were some saucy scenes.
There were some good scenes, but the problem is, by the end of it, this movie I actually watched twice.
You watched it twice?
I watched it once at night, and then the next morning I'm like, I don't remember anything of it. Like, Unger deserves better. Let me rewatch it. And once I sat down, noise canceling headphones, notebook. I'm like, oh no, it's just forgettable. Like okay, so it was like there was nothing special about this. Like there's nothing I was like, ooh, like they could have went a little bit further.
Right.
Because almost half the movie is them recreating better movies.
Yeah, like Clockwork Orange.
Yeah, Clockwork Orange.
Right.
And I was just, it's a fine movie, but it's forgettable. That's my problem. I want either good or bad.
It's a little lame.
Yeah. I mean, she did play like a hokey pokey, like I don't care New York artist really well.
Yeah,
I will give her that. But I mean, the movie shows her she has a dog, with broken hind legs and adorable dog, and like this is my most meaningful thing. You know where this movie goes, like right when you meet the dog. Oh, yeah, okay.
And there's two love interests. Almost
almost three. I felt almost.
Okay.
And you said it needed sauce.
Yeah. It was missing the thing that would brought it from like forgettable to good. Like,
but I didn't hate it.
I didn't hate it.
Yeah.
I didn't. It's just there's not much to keep me coming back. You know, whether it be good or bad. You know.
Yeah, me as well. There wasn't anything that really captivated me or like really drew me in that much further.
Yeah.
Not like the first movie that we just reviewed, but in this one, if nothing else, what stands out in my mind, and I don't want to be condescending in any way, shape, or form, although I might be interpreted that as anyway. To me, it felt like the movie it relied on a gimmick. This gimmick of recreating certain scenes from certain iconic movies.
Yeah.
Like I actually liked the recreation of that opening scene from Clockwork Orange, and I also liked that the actress did not fully capture Malcolm McDowell's sinister menace. Because if she really had done it that far, even with a further downward tilt to her head and so forth, then it really would have thrown off the balance of the movie. So,
Of course, the scene you're referring to is the opening shot of Clockwork Orange, where they pan back.
Yeah.
You see the four droogs drinking milk in the bar.
Yeah.
Milk.
Liquid drugs and so forth. Right. You know. And also, it was kind of poignant to see her recreate. I'm not sure, I totally can't remember the name of the movie, but I think it was like the last scene with the last movie that featured Clark Gable and Marilyn Monroe. I think did they recreate that?
Well, the Marilyn Monroe movie they recreated was "Some Like It Hot."
Okay.
Is that the one you maybe?
No. It was like
The one with the boat with the.
No. It was like both Clark Gable and Marilyn Monroe like in a car in like I think a truck or something, and they were just talking, and it drives off into the sunset kind of, and it was like that was like the last time they were in a movie at all before each of them met their passing in real life. So if I'm not mistaken, I think that scene from whatever that movie was recreated in this movie.
Right.
So that kind of had a point.
So from what I'm getting is you guys wanted to see more of that recreation stuff.
Well, it's not so much see more of it in my opinion. It's just like if you're going to do the recreations, all right, that's going to be your shtick.
Yeah.
Let's push it.
Right.
Like, just don't keep it in the middle ground because you just get lumped in with. There's so many movies getting released, even like blockbuster tentpole movies, like just regular movies that are trying to send a message. Whip a little heart to people.
So this would have been.
It's just going to get missed. Yeah.
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 No, I would like to see more of that.
You know what? I think the gimmick would have worked better if there was more of a tie-in as to why those particular movies were brought. Not just for the fact that we're just going to recreate different iconic scenes from different iconic movies, just for its own sake, as an empty gimmick. Just have it more as a tie-in to the actual core story.
Like her
why
personal
those
history.
Stories, why those characters? How do they relate to the core story?
I think they were just random movies and thought, okay, this would look cool again.
Yeah, I want to look pretty like Marilyn Monroe, even though even she says I could never be Marilyn Monroe. And I know that, but I want to see what it would feel like. I thought that, and I will give this movie one thing. I really enjoyed the ending. The ending was done really well. No spoilers at the art gallery. Well, spoilers.
Mm-hmm.
It was an ambiguous ending.
It was a realistic ending.
Right.
And the thing is, I believe this woman would exist in the real world. She played it very, like I said, safe.
Yeah.
Most of these people are very realistically acted, so I guess it's good in some way. It's just when you go to the movies, you don't want to see what could be your life if you were a depressed artist. I could go home and get depression. I could look at my monthly bills and be like, oh yeah, I want to be ups and downs, peaks and valleys, man. I want it.
So this felt too close to too realistic.
Yeah, it's just too realistic, too bland. There was missing that certain catch. And the catch in the movie is recreating those movie scenes, but there's no thing that elevated.
Right.
Yeah, and I have to agree with that because there are too many things about that sort of hit home because it's so many elements of the story, so many events. They were so close to real life that it's like I felt that before. I don't want to see that in a movie, but they do, and that's how well they did that aspect. And as some of you guys who are closest to me know, I'm a huge anime fan, and one anime that came up maybe 10 years ago was an anime called Bartender. And in Bartender, the main character is, of course, a bartender, and his clientele.
Spoilers.
Well, it's just this.
I want to go on a journey.
It's just the structure of the story.
I'm sorry.
Every episode, it features. Somebody walks into a bar. They spill their guts to the bartender, something what their problems are in real life, whether it's with their job or whatever, middle-aged crisis, whatever problems they're having. The bartender serves them not only a very delicious cocktail, but relates the history of that cocktail to that person's personal problems.
Nice.
So there's a depth of meaning in that. So as a result, having seen stories like that, I'm used to seeing that kind of interconnected, deeper layer of things, and that's why I felt that this movie, My Art, it could have benefited from that kind of a deeper connection between the gimmick.
I want to see My Bartender.
Yeah, good too. It's just called Bartender. It's like 11 episodes.
Not in my world. Now it's called My Bartender.
Oh, okay. Right.
And with this movie, the main selling point was that Lena Dunham's in it. Mm-hmm. But she's in it for like 45 seconds. Did you catch her in the beginning?
She's the one who's like, "Bye, Felicia."
Yeah.
It was like an Alfred Hitchcock. I might as well.
Yeah. A real cameo in that one.
Mm-hmm.
But
Easter egg.
Yeah, My Art. It's okay. Also came out January 12th. Mm-hmm. So whoever is out there curious, they want to see an artsy fartsy.
Yeah, I mean, you're bored, got nothing to do. Go watch it some Sunday after Under the Radar.
Yes, please do. After, of course.
I'm plugging your show on your show. That's a whole new level of plug-in.
Okay. Very good.
Okay.
All right, guys. So moving on, we're gonna discuss our final of the three, and it's called Almost Paris. And basically, it is about a young man who comes back home in the wake of a mortgage lending crisis, only to meet opposition from his family, people in the town. He tries to get a love interest, and I just could not stand this movie. It's just so lame.
I mean, we all remember all those other great movies that were based in the mortgage lending crisis.
Right.
Transformers 4 was a great one. Titanic 2, even icier, was great. Yeah, who would base a movie on that? How did you get inspiration? It should be called Almost a Movie.
Well, you should.
Oh my God! I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Right.
Wally Marzano Lesnevich. He is the writer and star of Almost Paris.
It's so good that it's a personal tale.
Yeah. Right.
So, Ron, what do you think?
Well, you know what? Even without the detail of him being a mortgage lender, and just the fact that he was burned real bad in his previous job, and he's just trying desperately to avoid being burned again, and just that kind of that painful history, the details notwithstanding, just the painful history. I think again, it's too close to home, because most people, they've had like really bad experiences with their job or their personal life, where they were so burned really badly, and I think this connects with that, And he's just so desperate to avoid that happening again that it starts to affect his other, other aspects of his personal life, like the girl that he was like asking out again and again
from high school.
Yeah, right.
This guy's in his like early 40s now or late 30s.
And that's another thing. She keeps turning him down over and over until she finally says. On the one hand, when she kept turning him down again, that's something that that a lot of people can relate to, myself included. Rejection, lots of it. I don't want to go down that road, especially on a movie screen.
Disappointed.
And then she finally says yes, and they hook up. Yay! But then he pisses her off. Because because he was being such a disagreeable person due to him.
He was being a prick.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Pardon my French.
No.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's German, since I'm German. I'm not French.
So he kind of ruins it, by design of his own personality. And I mean, Victory be just soured into such a but it had a better ending to compensate for it. Yeah. And Randy, you were saying that the guy, he was just annoying, his character and so forth, and I was saying before when we were talking about it in the back, I think it worked for this movie.
Yeah.
I
didn't want to see him at all.
I found him not just annoying but also creepy.
Yeah.
He came off as like a after school get in the car quickly type of guy.
Yeah.
I think it's the little facial hair, like the half mustache he's got going on.
It's like the stubble kind of thing that he's got.
He's got like a space between it. Like it's very
yeah,
yeah, right.
Well, I'm not gonna bash someone for a hair lift. That's just rude of you, Mr. Unger. No.
You wanted him to have a uni mustache?
I mean, this movie, like, I was watching, I'm like, oh god, this is a piece of crap.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, everything you see in the commercials is literally the beginning, middle, and end. You know this movie beat by beat, and other movies that are worse movies has done it better. Right. Mm-hmm. You know, so much so I started looking up online
the list
about Almost Paris. It was directed by Dominica Cameron Scorsese.
Is that related to Marty?
You know, yeah, it is. Really? Martin Scorsese's daughter. Now I know why he doesn't talk about her. She was also an actress in Cape Fear. She had a part in Cape Fear.
I believe that.
If I was those two things put together, I would have accidentally gotten talent. Like, I mean, like, what did Martin Scorsese beat her as a child with the script to Goodfellas? Like, and she just wanted to rebel? Apparently, this movie has a budget of approximately $3 million. $3 million. I was overestimating. I thought, I'm like, there's no way it was shot on Long Island, maybe 500,000. This was a personal tale. So I figured, I wonder what I could do with $3 million. So I came up with 5 things that we could do with $3 million. On Under the Radar, you could pay Gwyneth Paltrow to be a guest on 21 different episodes and just ask her to stop at life. Just to stop. We could buy the whole population of Floral Park, my town, Amazon Prime for 2 years. 2 years. Number 3. We could buy every sandwich on the McDonald's menu 21,276 times and just decide to eat somewhere else. The 3 of us, you, me, Robin, could go and stay at Disney World, parks, rooms, food included, for 267 weeks.
Over half a year.
267 weeks, the 3 of us.
No.
That
I thought you said
more.
days. I thought you said days.
No.
Brain fart, sorry.
Yeah, weeks.
Weeks.
Oh
my God.
Not days.
Years.
That's years.
Years.
We won't even like Disney at that point. Like, we will boycott Disney.
Yeah, right. That's like 5 years almost. Yeah,
and
right.
the number one thing I could think of to do with $3 million, we could buy 333 acres of land in North America, then go out and buy 95 smart cars, and then have the world's saddest destruction derby.
Oh, good grief.
Don't make this movie. Like, what passion about this movie?
Wait. $3 million. How did that come from? Crowdfunding or what?
No, someone paid for her to do this. Someone looked at the script and was like, "Oh, this is a piece of shit I want to produce."
I'm pretty sure her uncle or her father had something to do with that.
They didn't say that in no interviews. It was tough because, like, I lowballed the budget because some interviews said, "Oh, around $7 million." So if they spent $7 million on this, they paid Long Island to not be in the movie. Like, it was such a.
Well, it was supposed to be Oyster Bay.
Yeah, it was horrible. Like, oh my God, that's not Long Island life. That's like right before suicide. Like,
wait, was $3 million used just for the production, or did half of it go to production, the other half to marketing?
My best research has shown that around $3 million for all of it. Yeah, and my God, like, yeah. Like, you could have just paid us to, like, not review the movie. Like, I would have done it for, like, $50.
Yeah.
Like, what a piece of crap, man. Don't see this movie. Oh, my God.
Robin, final thoughts on Almost Paris?
John here covered, again, I'm like, he's so
follow that.
thorough, you know. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I thought at first I thought it was I was having a tough week, but having hearing you guys hearing your thoughts on this movie, I realized, oh, my week wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it was. Because I kind of don't recommend this one.
Yeah. Well, now you know you've seen it.
Yeah.
Now you know not to ever see it again or recommend it.
Or see anything remotely similar at this point. That's
Oh my God! Like, just everyone in that movie just sucked the life out of it.
I mean, I've come to acquire certain bitter tastes in my palate, like the coffee I had it in this wonderful Under the Radar cup. No sugar, no milk, no cream, no nothing. This is a bitter that I can take.
I'm having
that
water.
Movie is a bitter that I don't like. I'm sorry.
I mean, she's a very beautiful young actress.
The love interest.
The love interest.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's on top of everything else, like how bad the movie was, he seems so disinterested. You have a pretty young actress. How you not even, like, how can you not role play, oh, you're attractive?
He just wanted to get in.
That's like you, like, not being able to act that I'm fat. Like, that doesn't work. Like, I am naturally fat.
And
It's
she-
just...
And she even they played on that, and she even asked, "Why are you sleeping with me?"
Yeah, like, I don't get it. You're a D-bag. Why are you here?
Yeah, right. But like I said, I think it works that he was so annoying because the characters found him annoying.
Yeah.
His own family.
And
His own family
oh
on
my-
top of that. Not just the
what
girls
about
that
his
they
best friend? Oh my god, he should have been
The
aborted,
minor
huh?
league, dropout.
Yeah, oh my god.
Yeah.
What a waste of life.
So that's one compliment that I will give the movie. The fact that his character was portrayed as that annoying and that grating of a personality.
Yeah.
The fact that we, the home audience, can feel it just as much as the characters on screen. I think that was a
The
very
guy who never left home. He divorced. He got a kid, and
Yeah,
he never got to the majors. And
Oh my.
his name is Majors.
Yeah, and all he does is act like a 90s 40-year-old stereotype douchebag where he's like, yo, and I'm like, oh my god,
bomb.
oh my god, this,
It's like,
I would leave you too. I would just remarry you so I could divorce you again. Like,
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah, refugee from the 90s, like world's oldest teenager, or whatever you want to call
Yeah.
it. Yeah, I mean,
Like, I am stuck in like a teenager mind frame, but like, I don't talk like I'm from the 90s where it's like, oh, yo, Slice, like, we didn't say that. Like,
I've never heard that.
yeah, like, stop it.
He even has a T-shirt that says 1994.
Yeah.
Remember?
That,
Uh-huh.
Oh, yeah, right.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
At least they could have done was like 96 when we won the gold medal in female gymnastics.
Okay.
A
Random.
random pull, but still, it would have been better than 94. What happened in 94? Nothing! Apparently, this guy got some...
True Lies came out.
Fair enough. I retract my statement.
okay.
Oh, God.
Wait
It
a,
was
like...
3 years away from The Matrix, and what was it? Okay.
No, Matrix was 99.
That's what I'm saying. 3 years away from
That,
96, and then 3 years.
oh,
later,
okay,
99.
okay. I'm like, no, 3 years from 94 is 97.
Okay.
Plus
the,
2.
The Matrix and Fight Club was 3 years after 1996.
Oh, such better movies. Such better
important
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very good sci-fi.
You
films,
know?
definitely.
Has some of my favorite lines that I'm not allowed, probably wouldn't be allowed to say on this show from Fight Club.
It's okay.
No, I don't feel comfortable. My daughter's watching.
Good point. That's a good point. But
Congratulations, you're one step closer to hitting bottom.
Yeah.
segueing into it's not an official review, but I just got in the mail the 4K editions of Cloverfield and 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Oh, okay.
It's the 10th anniversary of the first one.
Wow.
So I don't know if you guys have seen.
I
both.
saw the first one.
Yeah.
I saw both. That also helps because they didn't they just start kind of releasing information about number 3 out,
heard about
where
that.
it might be called was it Cloverfield Station,
Oh, I didn't.
which
get the title.
sounds kind of weird. I hope that's just like a test title,
Yeah.
because that kind of sounds like a messed up kids show.
I thought the original Cloverfield was just a working title at the time. Was no
Yeah.
But,
I like that, the mystery of the title, Cloverfield. You know?
yeah.
And I like
Considering it takes
that-
place in New York, yeah. Like
I know,
I'd
right?
love to know
I
where
like-
that came
I
from.
like the format of the movie. It's like Blair Witch Project meets kaiju movies.
Yeah.
You know?
Godzilla. Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Well, he's a kaiju.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't know what Kachi is.
Okay.
He's
thank you.
officially categorized as a kaiju now. yeah.
Exactly. Pacific Rim pretty much introduced the concept of kaiju to
Yeah.
the Western audience.
And what is that like a giant?
Yeah, that's a Japanese word basically for giant monster,
Yeah.
Okay.
of which Godzilla is one of them.
Yeah. He's king though.
He's
king.
the king of
Yeah.
monsters. Yeah, king of the kaijus. And yeah, kaiju is like also a recurring term within the first Pacific Rim, and consequently the second one, which is coming out as of current events.
Oh.
Yeah.
That looks like a great video game to play. That movie.
Yeah. But yeah.
But back to Cloverfield. What were your thoughts on those films?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Like I enjoyed both of them. I mean, they're two very different movies.
Yeah. I
You
think they
know.
would tie in a little bit more together.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I feel mad or happy that the second Cloverfield does not tie into the first one. Besides, oh, there's a monster somewhere.
Right. Is it a prequel or is it?
No, it's a it runs along the same path at the same time.
Like universe.
Yeah, it's same universe, same time. I
Shared
believe.
universe, but it's more episodic. And
Yeah.
They don't really connect.
John Goodman was. Oh my god.
It's a great role for
Yeah.
a thriller role. Been doing comedies for the past 25 years, so.
You didn't like King Ralph?
King Ralph. I love King Ralph.
Yeah, damn right you did.
John, you have a car nicknamed Hound, and it's kind of funny that we're talking about John Goodman because didn't John Goodman
He voiced Hound? Yeah.
He voiced Hound in the latest Transformers movies.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. He was the only redeeming factor in that last movie.
That's so weird to me. Like, I don't know, a voice of a Transformer for John Goodman. Okay.
Well, I'm still wrapping my head around the fact that the great Ken Watanabe also voiced a Transformer in the past couple movies.
Yeah, that's true.
It's kind of a waste.
I liked it. I liked
Their voice acting was great.
Yeah. Yes.
But the movies were crap.
Yep.
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing, a Transformer go up against, the monster from Cloverfield, though. See how I wrap that around back?
Oh, there you go, right? Yeah. Or one of the Jaegers from Pacific Rim.
Yeah, that would be a great crossover. That's Pacific Rim 3.
Or Triple
that'd be
Threat
great.
thing.
I haven't seen the Pacific Rims, but do you recommend them? Obviously, I think you do.
Pacific Rim, the first one, most definitely.
Yeah.
Because it has enough of a callback to like the old Godzilla movies and so forth, and also like the old cartoons involving giant robots battling in cities, and so this is like both worlds kind of come together.
It's kind of like a kitchen sink monster movie, really.
Yeah, right.
Is it based on a video game?
No. It's his idea. Yeah.
Anime or anything?
No. It's not based on anything. It's just more of like an original creation based on different genres.
Yeah, his influences. Yeah. My only problem with number 2 coming out is that it's not called Atlantic Rim. Because I felt like that, like Pacific, Atlantic. It's an ocean joke.
Oh,
God damn it!
But they have to keep the name recognition though. Because at least Pacific Rim 2 people will get it.
Well, how about 3? Like the Red Sea Rim job.
Hey now, okay.
Oh, that's one rabbit hole that I don't know if we should get any further.
I got that joke. Rabbit hole. Wink. Yeah.
Now I want to see
which ties back to the Matrix. Take the red pill.
Or not.
Okay.
So, okay. Let's see what else. Oh, so I recently saw The Room and Disaster Artist for the very first time.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no. It was a gift from heaven. Really.
Okay.
John, thoughts on The Room?
Well, just by the fact that you consider The Room to be a gift from heaven, I can tell you drink a lot. No,
it was fun.
No. Here's the thing: like, The Room is such a bad movie, but in like the best way possible. And here's the problem: is like watching this movie, you could tell so much money and so much effort and so much time was spent on it. That watching The Room, you feel bad for Tommy Wiseau because he was not in on the joke for the longest time. Like, he didn't understand why this movie wasn't nominated for an Oscar. Right. Like, so that, and like, if you look at it from that, it's super sad.
Budget movie.
You're tearing me apart, Like,
oh, hi, Mom.
But I mean, there's rumors that he wants to make number 2 to The Room. I'm not quite sure how that works. Because he shot himself. That just means that the movie was so bad that person in the movie couldn't even kill himself right.
Oh god, I'll just be like paralyzed and that's depressing.
I enjoy it for like comedic value. Like, oh my god, this movie got made, but then I get super sad because that movie got made.
It's a mix of emotions.
Yeah, The Disaster Artist was a much better movie.
Right.
But still shocking that it got made.
Yeah.
Like everyone acted well in it. But it's just like we're living in such a time that The Room has become such a cult phenomenon that's not a cult phenomenon anymore. That is just a phenomenon. And it's this big movie that's making tons of money. So much so that you could have a movie based on the movie of what happened behind the scenes. Like that
doesn't happen often.
No, it kind of hurts me like inside. Yeah.
I didn't see either of these.
You didn't see either.
I'm sorry. So
no.
I'm just watching the clash of opinions.
Yeah, I like.
Check it out.
Okay.
I was like,
they're both good
for a while.
All right,
it's worth it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're both good in unique ways.
Vicariously on behalf, or the audience can act vicariously on behalf of me in terms of somebody who has not seen either The Room or The Disaster Artist.
Well, Disaster Artist didn't get nominated for an Oscar though, right? I was kind of sad about that.
No, it was nominated for I think best screenplay, but James.
Well,
Franco,
that's the yeah. I mean,
which I think it should have been.
Here's the thing, like I don't agree with what he did.
Yeah.
The allegations, if they are true, I'm not there. Obviously, we're not there. So I try to leave all those out and just the performance.
Right.
And it was such a strong performance.
Separate the man
from the art. Exactly.
Separate
And a lot of people can't do that. And I understand why.
Yeah.
But, I mean, that performance is probably the best of his career.
Yeah, I'd say so. Better than 127 hours.
Yeah.
Much better.
Yeah, I mean, he does those. He actually, when he tries to act, he picks those weird movies where it's like, he's acting with a rock for the whole movie. Yeah, well, yeah, but he
Not
cuts his
D-Rock,
arm off
A-Rock,
later.
right?
Not the rock, a rock, a boulder. And then this one he plays Tommy Wiseau, who's this foreign guy who just wastes money on a bad movie that he wrote.
And where does this money come from?
Yeah, where's the money come from? Where does he come from? Like, how can a vampire be in daylight? That's probably why.
That's one of my pet peeves. That's one thing I could never seem to get past. When there are vampire stories, whether it's in anime or live action or whatever, and they show a vampire out in broad daylight and nothing's happening to them, that's a pet peeve of mine. I'm sorry.
Don't see the room because there's lots of daylight, and you're not going to enjoy it because he doesn't burst in flames once.
Now, the Twilight series, I can kind of stomach. I get where Stephanie Meyer is coming around with the whole sparkly diamond. Okay, cringeworthy for you. I get
it's
it.
cloudy throughout the whole series of Twilight, right?
Yeah, because it takes place in Seattle or some other part of rainy part of
Oregon
Washington.
or something? Yeah.
Right.
How many have you seen?
I've seen like the first 2 or 3 of them. The rest was Wikipedia.
I'm so sorry. That's literally like that's literally like Unger over here kicking me in the balls in like a year's time. Like, you know what? Why don't you do that again? I remember I have fond memories of that. Like, who does that?
I'm not saying I enjoyed it.
Not being mean to you, just to movies.
Yeah. I'm not saying I totally enjoyed them. I'm just saying I get where the author Stephanie Meyer was coming from, what she was attempting.
Yeah.
And as a matter of fact, Anne Rice. Well, I thought she really had some boldness to her, the way she reinterpreted vampires from what was originally the standard set by Bram Stoker.
Yeah.
So I like certain reinterpretations. I like certain ones. I'm sorry, I cannot stand. Okay.
Speaking of Bram Stoker, you guys should check out the TV show. I believe it's called Lore on Amazon Prime. If you can get it, It shows the origins of vampires, like Bram Stoker. Their origin of where a vampire came from in America.
Okay. Historical.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's such a good show.
So
but off topic, but yes.
Who came first, Dracula or Nosferatu? Or are they the same?
It's interesting because it's all how the story happened is there's this farmer in like late 1800s where America where one after another, the wife passed away from a sickness, the daughter passed away from a sickness, the second daughter, then his son got the sickness. And, some friends around town was like, listen, what you need to do is you need to dig up the bodies of your loved ones and see if they're fresh. Okay. And if they're fresh, they're rising at night. Jesus. And they have a demon in them. And it just goes on this crazy story, and you're like, where the hell is this leading to? And goddamn twist ending is that was the first time like vampires in America were like talked about because after Bram Stoker died, he had that article next to his book. Okay. That's the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula. I just like flipped my lid. Like, I loved it. Cool. It was so well done. Definitely check it out. They're not plugging the show, so the hell with them.
Yeah.
So, Robin, are you a big vampire enthusiast?
Well, not big, but enough of an enthusiast.
Yeah. Okay.
Enough so much so that I really hate to nitpick, but remember that whole pet peeve about how vampires can just show up in the sunlight and nothing happens to them?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That is really my single biggest pet peeve of The League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
That was
the last movie Sean Connery.
That is such a good movie.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. But Nina Harker on the submarine in the middle of the day, all that sunlight, nothing happening to her. I'm sorry.
She was such a tastefully done character that the sun didn't want to kill her. That's what I have.
I remember Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Oh, which is so well done. Practical effects too.
And the guy who doesn't age with the mirror.
Yeah.
Painting.
Dorian Gray.
Who was the vampire?
The girl, Nina Harker.
Nina Harker, who was Van Helsing's wife.
Yes.
They hunted Dracula, and she was turned.
Yeah.
That was such a good movie.
It was, and they had movies planned out. Mm-hmm. Connery was signed on for more, and they just They went up against Disney. You never go up against Disney unless you're Jumanji.
Yeah.
I mean, they were drawing from freaking Alan Moore, who was like one of the great comic and graphic novel writers of all time.
Yeah.
Wow. You know?
Batshit crazy, but he is one of the...
I know, right? And the thing is, I was thinking about the history of that, the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, and I saw Sean Connery conduct an interview. He says he was offered The Matrix. He read it. He didn't get it. He turned it down. He was offered Lord of the Rings. He read it. He didn't get it, so he turned it down. He was offered then League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. He read it, didn't get it, but he took it.
I always found that so weird because how did you not understand that movie? His character was just a hunter.
Right.
That was like blessed by a shaman, maybe.
Shooting monsters.
Yeah. Alan Quartermain.
Yeah. Like, how do you not understand that character? Like, how much were you drinking at that point?
Alan Quartermain was in King Solomon's Mines from the 80s.
Yes.
Exactly.
Sharon Stone.
Exactly. So, the Alan Quartermain character has a history, and that's
right.
that's where Sean Connery's character.
It's like this adventure, kind of like an Indiana Jones with a rifle.
Yeah, because that was the whole premise of League of Extraordinary Gentlemen, to take so many of literature's greatest characters and put them together in one team.
Nice.
Yeah.
Alan Moore had a hell of an inspiration for that.
It was well done, too. Like, the movie and the books.
Yeah.
And I heard they're going to do something like that for the Universal monsters. I heard that.
Yeah. The Dark Universe. You're talking about. Yeah, the Dark Universe is apparently dead now, thanks to Tom Cruise.
What did he do this time?
The Mummy.
The Mummy remake. Right,
yeah.
Right.
The reboot. Whatever.
I haven't even gotten to watch it yet. I
heard it wasn't bad, actually.
I heard it wasn't good.
Yeah.
I heard quite the opposite.
Kind of in the middle.
I just don't. I'm sorry. I like Tom Cruise. I just don't have an interest to see this particular movie.
Yeah.
Take it or leave it.
Even Tom Cruise's star power couldn't save that damn movie, which says a lot.
And one of my friends was telling me it's not so much the actors that are the marquee value for movies anymore. Nowadays, it's the franchise that draws people. Mm-hmm. So it's not. That's another reason why Tom Cruise's star power didn't really draw people to it, because it's all based nowadays on the power of the franchise.
And I think people lost interest after the Brendan Fraser series after the third one.
You're about to say the character's name.
Yes, I was.
Yeah. Rick O'Connell. Yeah.
Rick O'Connell.
Yeah,
great
right?
character actually.
Yeah.
But after that third one,
See, I was so depressed once the Mummy with Tom Cruise. Like, I didn't see it in the theaters, and apparently you didn't. I was just depressed because my favorite creature is Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's my favorite, Hollywood
the
monster.
Shape of Water
Yeah.
all these Oscars. It basically is a creature that is.
Yeah, but I mean, I also wasn't hoping to see this creature bang a girl.
Yeah.
So I mean,
You don't
spoilers.
associate the two, right?
Yeah, I really never went and saw a Creature from the Black Lagoon. It's like, oh man, a sex scene would be great right here. Like, oh my god, he's gonna fin her so hard. Like, who thinks that? Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Well, I was saying about franchises nowadays. The new trend I've noticed is shared cinematic universes.
That's why Nemo had the small fin.
Oh.
I mean,
It was funny in my head. Screw you guys.
Yeah, right? Yeah, I mean, talking about monsters, you guys probably know this. Like, we had the American-made Godzilla movie from 2 or 3 years ago.
Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, with Bryan Cranston. Me personally, I love that one. You can have your
No. I thought you were going with Ferris Bueller's Day Off with Godzilla.
Oh, no.
That's what I thought you were.
Interesting train of thought. That is one rabbit hole.
Wait, further down. Ferris Bueller and Godzilla. What's the connection?
Take over.
We try to just brutalize Godzilla because we're America and we do everything better than everyone else. So we casted Ferris Bueller.
Our egos provoke us to dictate to everybody else. Okay.
So you got a giant Matthew Broderick terrorizing.
No, that would have been great. I would have saw that movie.
That's an episode of Pinky and the Brain at this point. I mean, come on.
They had Matthew Broderick in a Godzilla movie, and he didn't look like Godzilla.
Oh no!
Yeah, and what's great is Toho bought the rights to our Godzilla and named him Zilla and beat the crap out of him in their own movie. It was beautiful.
Oh yeah, Godzilla Final Wars.
Yes.
Wait, but the 1998 Godzilla
is garbage.
I kind of liked it. It's a good.
I kind of liked it too, but it should be named Godzilla.
No, you're right. And you know what? I refuse to see that one. And this is one of those rare times where I actually will pass a judgment on a movie I haven't actually seen. Ordinarily, my philosophy is never have a judgment on something I haven't seen yet. But this is one. This is
Yeah,
my
that's
exception to
fine.
the rule. Because to me, if I were to make a comparison with the '98 American-made Godzilla movie, it's like expecting to see James Bond, but instead getting Pee Wee Herman.
I would totally want to see that now. Can we get that happen?
Yeah,
I'm a loner, Daddy.
yeah, right.
Yeah, like
I do the laugh. But Godzilla Final Wars, you were talking about that.
Yes.
Seeing Zilla getting the crap
Kicked
beaten
out
out
of
of him
him.
within seconds by the real thing.
Like
and
the only
even
thing.
the alien saying, "I knew this guy wasn't working."
Like the only thing that would have made that movie better was if they had some like white generic American be like, "That's a lot of fish," and then it gets stomped by Godzilla. It would have been great, but it didn't happen.
But it's a great, like, I remember when DVDs came out for the first time, I played Godzilla on my sound system. It like rocked the house. It was awesome.
Yeah, it should have been called Godzilla's Day Off because like Godzilla wasn't in that damn movie. Like,
Yeah, I mentioned the Godzilla and shared universes because from what I see, that's what's starting now because Kong
Everything,
Skull
yeah.
Island came out.
oh, I can't wait. I
Yeah.
love the one with Bryan Cranston.
And they're
by the way.
already throwing cameos in of King Ghidorah and Rodan and
Mothra.
Mothra,
nice.
right? Cool. So they're starting a shared monster universe. I mean, it was done like decades ago, back in like the Showa era of
I hope they have Jet Jaguar. Now, like that's a deep cut.
Yeah,
that's
that
a
would
deep
be-
cut. Like
right.
oh, Jet Jaguar and Eurus. Oh, there's so much to have. Like we better not f it up.
Yeah.
Like I'll be mad
I
because
mean, if
they're
we can
doing
have
good.
Pacific Rim and 5 Transformers live action movies, I don't see why we can't have Jet Jaguar.
Yeah, it works. Like it's fine.
You know, I want to switch gears a bit. We were actually talking in the car about this, about favorite 80s slasher films. And, like, franchises.
Here we go.
Robin, do you have a favorite? Jason, Michael, Freddy, any of those? Top of your list?
No particular favorites per se. Because that was never my thing. But there are qualities of the different characters that I admire.
Okay.
You know, like Jason, for example, and actually in a similar vein, Michael Myers. They were basically just these silent, mysterious killing machines.
Yes.
I never liked Michael Myers because if I like the original Michael Halloween, I just hated. Like I just hated. Like Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
78.
Yeah, she wasn't that great in it. I felt like,
What was her first
and no excuse. Then you cast someone better. Like what was the whole story of like Halloween? Like oh. Michael Myers or his sister have sex. Oh, I'm gonna go crazy.
Yeah.
But,
Well, there was really no trigger there.
Yeah.
But that's what I liked about it. I liked that he just was just evil for no reason whatsoever. That just made it that much more mysterious.
Yeah, no, that's fine, but you have to get past that initial like trigger point, and that's where it stumbled for me. Like,
Well, in the later sequels, I forget it was like the 4th or 5th or the 10th or whatever it was. It's a lot, you know, Halloween 5000. But they tried to explain his origins with like druids or something, and to me that just.
Oh yeah, that was like part 5. I think.
they always try and re-explain the origins to have a
Me
twist.
personally, I think certain things deserve to remain mysterious. Because I'm in the business of presenting mysteries. I'm in the business of presenting things that have no explanation.
Mm-hmm.
I let the audience decide. You know. So when I see certain movies, I like when certain things are simply left unexplained and done well.
Yeah.
Fair.
And that's what I liked about Michael Myers. He was just evil for just because.
And his nickname, I think, is The Shape. So it's like, ooh, could be very.
Well, that was in
anything.
one of the commercials. Yeah, like they did Halloween 1, Halloween 2 was like a direct sequel.
It was the
Halloween
same
3,
night.
Season of the Witch. I'm like, where did that come from?
They tried to make like a sort of like a weird.
They tried to
franchise,
branch it
different
off where it would be
stories.
different masks,
Yeah,
but they
yeah.
already established William Shatner as a very iconic mask.
Yeah.
So.
Oh,
Yeah, there you go.
I got
Yeah,
it,
yeah,
I got
Oh, now it's a connection.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It's a
It wasn't
the
really
original.
pronounced that the first dozen times I saw the movie.
For your viewers, the Michael Myers mask was originally a William Shatner mask turned inside out.
Right.
So
Okay.
I wasn't just name dropping people. I had knowledge. I just didn't want to explain
Yeah,
it too
I
much.
say all that because in the 4th one, when they finally got back to its roots with Michael Myers, I remember the commercials, the shape, the face. So that's where the shape came in. I remember from the commercials.
See, I never thought like Michael Myers was very unique. Like the mask gave him the uniqueness. The kills didn't give him uniqueness. The backstory didn't give him uniqueness. Like Jason, I felt was
Mask
just
and a
as
kitchen knife.
Well, Jason's a zombie, I think. See, or
It depends on what
undead.
movie you watch.
I'm thinking like
Manifestation of all evil in the
New
world could
Blood,
be 1,
part
2.
7, part 8. Jason Takes Manhattan.
Oh yeah, the reptile one. Yeah, we had
Reptile
where he's
face.
like a snapping turtle or a crocodile. Yeah, that was great.
Yeah, right.
His zombie face changes like in every movie.
Yeah, well, every director brings their own take of what they think Jason would look like underneath the mask, and hence why I'm just like, well, it could be the manifestation of evil because evil takes many forms.
Well, the
And it
one,
evolves, like
the
that.
time, I
Right, I just right off the cuff, I just like came up with that BS. Like that was pretty good BS. Like I'm sure.
on the subject of Jason, like the one time I liked Jason the most, believe it or not, was Freddy vs. Jason because.
See, we talked about it in the car.
Big fan.
You got to rewatch it.
Yeah,
It was
I
a
do,
great
I do.
Freddy Krueger movie.
Yeah,
I didn't
right.
like- but it wasn't Kane Hodder, and that really kills it for me. Like, I need Kane Hodder to be behind the mask of Jason.
Well, leave your man crushes out of this. Like, I mean,
Well, that
I
is
love
the fact.
Robert
You see the
Englund, but
you see the big scary zombie dude with the hockey mask. All right.
Yeah.
I get that, and that's all we really need to see anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
But I liked that movie was made because I liked that it was just a smackdown between two horror icons.
yeah.
Right.
Did you see the sequel in comic book form, Freddy vs. Jason vs. Ash?
I missed that one.
It was
Like,
actually
for me.
pretty well done. Like
Really?
it was based off the script to the sequel to Freddy vs. Jason.
They should have made that.
They should have made that damn movie with Ashley Williams.
Or
I
kinda
would
weave it
I would have
into
gave a
the
leg, my good leg. I would have gave my good leg to see that movie.
Oh,
Like,
God.
Pretty cool. Yeah. Oh, speaking of Evil Dead, Robin,
Yeah.
fan?
Evil Dead? No, I never got into it. It's funny because, dude, what was the guy's name? I'm even though I had my coffee, I'm still having lapses right now. It's just weird. Who's that actor? He was in the Hercules TV series. He was in
Kevin Sorbo.
Not Kevin Sorbo. No.
Kevin Smith.
No.
Who played Ares?
He was also in all 3 of the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movies.
Who plays Ash? Oh my.
Bruce Campbell.
Oh,
Thank you,
I'm
Bruce
just going to
Campbell.
leave. Like,
I
oh
saw
my
him
god,
live at
I am a
freaking
horrible
Comic-Con
human being.
in New York. You know, I mean, I'm a fan of the guy's work.
He's great.
I dig Bruce Campbell and so forth. It's just I was never an Evil Dead fan. You know?
No?
I'm just the only. Actually, you know what? In terms of zombie material in general, the only time I ever got into any zombie media was the original Resident Evil games for the first PlayStation. and
Creepy
PlayStation 2.
games.
See, I was telling
Scary as all hell.
on the ride over, I was telling Unger that they have to make a Puppet Master remake.
Oh, really?
Like, how great would that be? Never mind. All right. No,
Yeah, right.
no, I was wrong.
Master.
I want a good Freddy Krueger remake then.
Okay.
All right.
You didn't like the reboot?
No. There was things I liked about it, like they delved into like micro naps and like the psychology behind sleeping and all this. But it's like, oh, I didn't do it. What do you mean? No, Freddy did it. He diddled those kids and then killed them. Like Freddy Krueger is a mean mofo. Like you don't take the scariness from him out.
He's basically a sociopathic pervert, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah.
Psychotic and so
Psychotic, sociopath. Yeah.
Yeah, all those different, really ugly psychological terms.
Yeah.
And do you think it was represented well by the actor? What was the little
Here's
guy?
the thing. The actor was great. He played Rorschach in Watchmen. I'm like, oh my god, he's going to do amazing. And then the movie was not amazing because the script was a bit weak. Like,
It's so funny you should mention the script because we were comparing Aaron Eckhart to Tommy Lee Jones, both of
Yeah.
them happening to be Two-Face. Now, Tommy Lee Jones, great actor. I kind of wanted to bring this point full circle because he was limited by his script in the movie. You know, look at the script that Aaron Eckhart had to work with.
along with who is also limited, Arnold Schwarzenegger in Batman and Robin.
Limited
You
to-
could see that on my channel. Why Batman and Robin is a good movie on Nerda Sutra.
Yes.
Plug.
Tell me a little bit about your show. No, I'm sure everyone
I have a couple shows. I have Weekly Geekly, where we talk about the week's geek news. We have Master Debater, which I just
like that name.
thank you. It's appropriate with how I talk. So it's all about. I have weird opinions on certain movies. Like I did not like E.T. Like it was horrible. I did not like The Goonies, and it was just bad. I didn't like The Goonies, but I enjoyed Batman and Robin. And so we have the show where like I bring my unpopular opinion and debate reasons why I'm right and they're wrong.
Okay.
Because that's how I feel. We also have a show called Plot Holes on Nerda Sutra, where we take a pornography film and I edit out all the pornography, anything XXX, I just cut it on the floor. Mm-hmm. And I review what's left as a movie that's like trying to go for an Oscar nod, and I just try and see where it goes. Nice. And so the first episode that is up. That is Superman vs. Spider-Man XXX, right? Which is it was fun watching and weirdly good. It was weirdly good. Like I couldn't be overly mad about it.
Yeah, the special effects were not that terrible.
Yeah, it was not that terrible. Like if it was a TV show, I'd be like, I bet this is going to get picked up by NBC.
You never know. And don't you have a few more shows in the works?
I have a whole bunch of more shows in the works. I'm going to try to be successful.
Yeah.
So far, I'm not, but I'm going to try. I'm trying to have.
If I should paraphrase Anthony Robbins, don't think of it in terms of success versus failure. Think of it in terms of degrees of success.
Well, the measurement I use for success is if like what I do in my spare time keeps me happy with my day-to-day life. Like if I have a 9-to-5 job, I do this show, and I'm like, my job ain't that bad. It's a success. It's not like, I need 1 million views. Like I'm not gonna be PewDiePie. If I, one, because I don't hate everyone. Two, he's an idiot. Hopefully I have some good writing talent. But, I have a bunch of shows. I have movies also I want to do.
And I'd love to be included in some.
Yes, yeah. Well, pick the porno. We'll review it.
Yeah. Okay. Think about that one. So,
all of a sudden you get your list out. Just,
yeah.
Oh.
The list of John Bartnick. Okay. I said the list of Jericho on WWE were not enough. All right. I have to throw that in there.
So, Robin, you want to plug anything? Anything coming up?
Mostly private parties, but if anybody wants to retain my services, just go to robinchanning.com. I'm also on social media, Facebook, Twitter, the major platforms that are out there. Of course. All right. I'm also on Gig Salad in case you want to book me in that way. And let's see, every now and then I'll do LOL Comedy Club. That's in Times Square, New York. So if I'm booked at a particular weekend and you want to catch the show, you will see the big guns there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm actually a legally ordained minister.
Oh, really?
I could actually do weddings if your fans want a geeky wedding. I'll dress up whatever costume they provide.
Nice.
My rates are fair.
I actually have a friend, Chris Clemente. He also he officiates.
Oh, okay. I thought he was like, you should.
Yeah.
He's doing Rocky Horror Picture Show. How did you know? Can you dress up as like Dr. Frankenfurter?
I think a Star Wars: A New Hope theme wedding, like the last scene where they're in that hall. They march down.
That'd be great. But then, 15 years later, renew the vows. We'll change the bride.
Cinnamon bun hairstyle in that one. Someone's got to sport the twin cinnamon bun hairstyle in that.
That's true.
Yeah. I could rock that.
You too, Rob. You have long hair.
No, thank you. It has to be a nice looking chick for that one. So. Okay.
To get experimental, he needs to be bribed.
Yeah, right.
So any weddings coming up?
No. I mean, my friend Vinny is getting married, but he wouldn't let me officiate that because he knows me. But once again, that damn drum set is coming back into play.
Oh, we gotta hire a guy.
Seriously.
Or just get an app for.
I'm just going to get my app and just keep it with a mic right here and be like.
Just press that particular button on the screen. Button chow. Or a boing. Because there are apps that have all kinds of sound effects. Just like a boing or whatever.
Soundboard of Arnold or something.
When I don't tell a good joke, like.
I love that one.
Right.
So, Robin, anything coming up in theaters that you're looking forward to?
Black Panther.
You didn't even hesitate.
That is first on my list, and it's coming up in 2 or 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's a Marvel movie. It looks good.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Cool. Are you familiar with the character?
Not that much, but I will be after seeing this movie.
Nice.
That's what I like. That's what I like about following the Marvel movies. Like, all these characters that some of which I've never even heard of or have very little familiarity with. And I'll just watch the movie and I'm like, oh, this dude rocks.
Yeah.
And one of my most favorite new characters that I got into was from a year or two ago, Doctor Strange. I love
yeah, that's a good one.
Oh, he's so good.
That's a good one.
Master of Mysticism. It's amazing.
I think I also saw it in 3D. It wasn't too bad.
Yeah, that was a good movie.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. It's one of those movies I kind of wish I did drugs a little bit just to experience that.
What I read afterwards, the comics were really psychedelic.
Yeah.
so
Marvel Studios in the 60s and 70s was really fun.
I was gonna clean my room, but then I got never mind.
So John, how about you? What are you looking forward to?
My Black Panther looks good. I've been wanting that for years, but Deadpool 2, baby. Deadpool 2.
Oh, dude, yeah, I can't wait for that.
I hope Betty White makes a cameo. Like, he wished her a happy birthday on Twitter. Like, I was like, oh, like, that's going to be great.
I hope that movie
Infinity War.
Oh, yeah.
Infinity War. Marvel Infinity War is this year, too. God, we're
That's a
horrible
no-brainer.
people.
Yeah, right.
We are bad people.
I mean, God,
Call
they've
ourselves
been
critics.
Building that up for like what, maybe 10 years.
10 years now, like a decade worth of like Marvel movies, and it's going to...
Starting with Iron Man, you know.
Yeah, 2008.
We're like 10 years later. We're finally getting Thanos versus like everybody.
Yeah.
Mm.
You know.
I can't wait to see that Infinity Gauntlet. Just
Yeah,
like...
right. Pacific Rim 2. I can't wait for that one.
I'm cautiously hopeful, but I'm not going to see it in theaters.
I am going to see it in theaters because I liked Pacific Rim. And from what I saw of Pacific Rim 2 at New York Comic Con, I'm like, I am going to see this one in theaters as well.
Oh, okay. See, all I saw was the commercials, and it seemed like such a kind of like different shift in tone, where it's super bright and super like almost, I don't want to say comic booky because that sounds negative when you say that, but very stylistic, as in not from the original stone. So
I mean, the second Avengers, it just felt very formulaic.
how dare you, sir?
Unimpressed.
How
Dude,
dare you?
what?
That is Joss Whedon.
Oh, wrong F word.
First one.
Wrong
was
F word, dude.
How dare
good. I
you?
wasn't into it. I was not.
You know why? Because you know what? You just didn't appreciate it.
Maybe
Because it was a great movie. No,
I'm a
I
DC
loved
guy.
how they.
I'm a DC guy.
You
First-
damn
First of
turncoat.
all,
Though I'm not impressed with what the company has done in recent times. But
Well, yeah, live action DC material. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have my
If
reservation.
Wonder Woman was great. I really enjoyed Justice League, though.
You
I
really
really enjoyed Justice League.
Justice League was good.
It's
I
average.
like Joss Whedon. It's one of the reasons why Justice League was so good. It's also one of the reasons why the first Avengers was.
Here's
really
the
good.
problem, like with that movie, Justice League, whatever, no matter what happened, if it tanked, it was Snyder's fault. If it blew up to be like a $2 billion movie, Joss Whedon came in and saved the day. There's no way.
hashtag Joss Whedon.
That's true. There's no way this movie was going to get out unscathed, and it did decent at the box office. It's just not what WB wanted, you know. But for what was given, I was shocked on how much I enjoyed it.
yeah,
Like,
it really
I-
worked.
It felt fun. It felt enjoyable.
My favorite character going into the movie was my least favorite character going out. My most favorite was Jason Momoa as Aquaman. They casted him perfectly, but he was Storm in the first X-Men. Had 3 lines too many.
It's funny.
Well, you know what? I was going to say, DC material.
Yes.
Have you seen any of the DC animated movies?
I've seen a couple. I think I don't know which ones.
You should see like
some of the Batman
You
movies.
should see like all of them. Because
Yeah, they're all good.
They're all
DC
good.
animated are excellent.
Okay.
But by contrast to DC live action, mixed results.
Okay.
But thank
I
you.
heard that from many people actually. So.
Yeah, right.
But thank you for having me on again. I
Oh,
really
yeah.
enjoyed it.
This was
You know,
fun. You guys will be back. I hope.
Okay.
if you let me.
And me when my schedule permits.
Yes. No, I hear you.
I am not as busy as him. I am.
promoting my contact of myself.
I'm free after this show. What are you doing?
Do the after party.
After all the discussions you guys, all the different rabbit holes you went down, I can't wait to see what or do I not want to?
Why are you always talking about my rabbit hole?
All right,
Pervert.
guys, we're gonna,
Matrix reference and Alice in
we're
Wonderland.
gonna wrap up now. So yeah, I want to thank you both so much for being here today.
Awesome, thank you.
Great show as usual.
Okay.
Next time we're gonna be having.
Oh, not above par. I'm disappointed.
We're gonna be having fellow critics Rachel Cole, C.J. Oakland, and John. You're coming back, I think.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Dude,
We're
you're
gonna
better. Yeah.
We're gonna be reviewing the movies Mom and Dad, Please Stand By, and Driving While Black. That's an actual.
I just realized I can't make it
Yeah.
because of the movie choices.
Damn it.
You know what? I've been in our Facebook message thread. There was this one Chinese movie that I've been trying to get you guys to watch. You've been dodging all this time. Cook Up a Storm.
I know. I gotta check that one out.
Oh yeah,
You saw it?
I only can find clips on it.
I sent you. I
I'll forward it.
I sent you. We had this like 3-way message. I sent it to both of you guys. Just check that thread. Sent
It will be watched.
It's a Dropbox link. You can download this sucker. And watch
I will watch it.
All right, guys. So I just want to thank you again.
Okay.
No problem.
We'll be back same time on Village Connection.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Keep it nerdy and dirty.
Gotta refer to the desktop declarations over there. Sorry.
So this has been Under the Radar and your host Randy Younger. Thanks so much, guys.
Okay.
Bye.
Uh-oh. This could only mean one thing.
Thank you.